The best way and the fastest way I've found to turn lecture notes into effective study notes is to turn them into a series of questions. And to do that, I simply use the title or the headings and the subheadings throughout my lectures. Now, there's two options here. You can tweak this a little bit. You can, one, do that yourself by going through your lecture notes and manually making them questions. That can have a benefit in the sense that then you're already looking through your material and reading it. For example, in this lecture about soils and fluids, I would turn that first heading, factors influencing soil formation, into a question. What are the factors that influence soil formation? I can see there below that there are 5 factors. So I could tweak that question a little bit to prompt me and say, what are the 5 soil forming factors? And then you can go more into depth. So how does climate influence soil formation? You literally turn each key aspect into a question. The other way is that you can simply drop that content, those lecture notes, straight into AI like chat and ask it to make the questions for you. That has a benefit of saving you the time, and you can just start answering those questions and studying that way. That's completely up to you. Both have benefits. Now, the reason this is helpful and effective, turning these lecture notes into a series of questions, is because it uses the study principle of active recall, which has been found to be incredibly effective at helping us not only remember things, but to understand them better. Active recall is simply what it sounds like. It's where we have to recall or remember something actively, as opposed to passively, like where we just read something. Actively asking ourselves a series of questions or using things like flashcards, we're actively prompted over and over again to remember something. By turning our lecture notes into a series of questions that we then have to answer, it helps us think of it, and that's exactly what our exams are, a series of questions, right? So you can start off with your first lecture, change it into questions, and then you can sit down and you can study your notes. Maybe you want to start with some passive reading, and that's absolutely fine before you jump into your questions. But an easier way is to jump straight into the questions and see how much you already know just from your semester. How much have you already retained without even starting to study that much, and answering those. Then what you can do, for example, our first question, what are the 5 soil forming factors or factors that influence soil formation? Maybe I can only remember 2. Then I go back and I check what the actual answer is. Then maybe in a couple of hours or the next day, this will depend on how far away your exam is, I'll ask myself the question again. And then this time maybe I get 4. Well, I'll go back and I'll look at the answers again and I check. Okay, and then I'll test myself again. And I do that repetitively for each of these questions until you remember them. The ones that you have more trouble with, the ones that you find harder to remember or harder to answer, test yourself more frequently on. And then the ones that you find easier, you can test yourself less frequently on. You don't need to test yourself on all of these questions every single time.